Good morning. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside, because it's summertime. My name is Brian Engelman. It is Friday, July 31st, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, it's called the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media. Oh yeah, I see my background has changed. I used to sort of live with this background until I really started fully embracing the lunchtime shift at the bar. I just recorded a little promo, which is the show intro, just so I could quickly share it with somebody and go, here's a little snapshot of what we do. We talk to lots of interesting people. I really need to revamp that and add about 60 different interactions to promote the show. There is one place that I've reached out to collaborate with, to partner with, to work with. And that was a video that I was going to share with them. And I realized, man, if I had my final promo, it would be a lot cooler, but it's okay. It's still pretty cool. But yeah, this feels weird right now, being this formal. So there we go. Let's switch back to the bar. This is where I'm comfortable. Come on in. Hit the thumbs up button. Like the show. And there's a little arrow button how you're watching as well. Click the arrow button and it copies the link. Share it. Text it to a couple of your friends and invite them. Invite some smart friends onto the show. Have them join us while we rifle through the rubbish like a bunch of trash pandas, raccoons. And we're trying to separate fake news from fact. Go behind the dumpster at a nice grocery store, and guess what? They're setting out tons of excellent food in many occasions. There's lots of places that definitely contribute to the hippie or the needy community. When I went to Taos, New Mexico, building off-the-grid self-sustainable Earthships at the Greater World Earthship community in Taos, New Mexico, bunch of hippies and yes, I've hung with hippies. I like cool people. And you can find cool people in any walk of life. But yeah, we would go into town about 20, 25, 30 minutes away. And they're like, yeah, they put great produce out there. You go in the back. I'm trying to remember if it was just sitting out. It wasn't in a dumpster per se, but it was next to it or like in a bin or like an igloo cooler to keep things cool, something like that. Yeah, and we'd go get peppers and onions and tomatoes and fresh produce. And, oh, here's a bunch of boxes of pasta that they're totally fine, but the expiration date means they can't sell it in the store anymore. And it's totally fine. I've been trying to explain that to people for a long time. It's like, oh, well, I left what did I leave out the other day? I made corn, frozen corn, and I made Spanish rice. And I ate some of that. I sat down. The cat jumped up. He cuddled up. I laid down, closed my eyes for a minute, and I woke up the next day. That food was still good. The next day. So I was like, I should throw this out. I go, I bet it's fine. I've eaten pizza that's laid out on the counter for a week. Maybe not a week, but you know what I mean. But yeah, raccoons rifle through the rubbish. Sometimes you find, oh, look at this. Fresh bakery. It just went past its, you can't have it out for 24 hours or 72 hours or 36 hours. I don't know what it is. Look at this. I got this whole bag of excellent, delectable pastries and bakery items. Raccoon opens up another bag of trash and you go, those are baby diapers. Oh. And that's what it feels like opening social media, right? You go on X, you go on Instagram, you go on Twitch or TikTok or Kick or wherever you get your info. Facebook. And you're like, oh man, I didn't want to watch a snuff film. Why did I have to see? That's horrible. Why would I see that? I don't want that, especially first thing in the morning as I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in the news. What happened while I was sleeping? But that's our job here as TNAM Trash Pandas. TNAM is the new American media, of course, because the old American media has failed. So yes, invite some of your friends to our noon show here at the bar. Hit the thumbs up button. And if anybody wants to, we're making a final push. Today's the last day of July. And if we have a monster day on YouTube, we could make this the most lucrative. And when I say lucrative, don't get jealous. I mean, you know, showing some improvement. It's not enough to be the full-time thing that I do yet, although I do have a deep belief that I am capable of doing such things, which is why I started TNAM in the first place, which is why I've been coming to you live directly each weekday for 2.5 years, roughly, or at least 2 years, a year and a half. We relaunched the show after the COVID 2020 selection censorship, and we've been going strong ever since. So yes, please follow the New American Media on all the platforms and tell your friends. And then, like I said with YouTube, let me put this up at the bottom of the screen. 3 places you can sign up to become a TNAM supporter. Yeah, you could do it for $1,000 a month. You could do it for $500 a month, $100 a month, $50 a month, 40, 30, 20, 10, as little as $5 a month, $60 a year. Like 2 months of a gym membership, or like half your cell phone bill, or 1 cell phone bill, or however you want to justify $5. Everyone likes to say a cup of coffee. I've never been big into going places and spending $7.83 on a coffee. You can get the whole bag for like $6, $9, you know? But yeah, for as little as a pack of baseball cards a month, you can mail me a nice little Lego piece each first of the month. Patreon, Rumble, and YouTube all have subscription options at whatever price point you like. And I get a Lego mailed to me. Then I know each month I got this many subscribers. We have this much that we can count on. And then, of course, there's the random and super appreciated one-time tips of Rumble rant tips and super chats. So my request is, if you're gaining any value out of this, please consider making a super important donation, perhaps on a reoccurring basis, because it really matters. Aside from those ways, you also have Venmo and Cash App at my name, Brian Engelman, spelled at the bottom of the screen, or on PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. So yeah, today is the last day of July, and if YouTube goes bonkers today, I think we need $60 or $50 or $57. I got to calculate it because they keep their 30% or 28%, 25%. I forget exactly what it is. But once that's gone, as of 2 days ago, we needed 50 or 40. Anyway, we're in striking distance. July has been a very solid month. We appreciate all of you. This is essentially for me to say thank you for your past support and perhaps continuing support. So thank you. Really, it's seeing signs of growth is very important, especially when across all platforms we feel as though our content has been moderated, deranked, deboosted, demonetized, shadow banned into oblivion. We found organic growth hard to reach. So, all right, that's fine. So maybe our mass mailings at this dining establishment and bar that you find yourselves in, and I'm going to be your bartender. Maybe the mass mailings aren't going to the people. Maybe we're paying for a service and they're taking it and just chucking them in the trash. They're not actually inserting them into anything. So we're not getting the organic growth that way. Fine. If you're here and you like it, please tell a friend and invite them into the program. We're going to get to a bunch of stories today. Hopefully some stories other than just digging into Fauci, because, oh my God, past 2 days were rough. But it's like comedian Tyler Fisher said, it probably dredged up a lot of feelings, and you're probably feeling very angry. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like you're inside my head, bro. And Tyler was a super cool guy when I met him too. Great stand-up comedian. Go see him, Tyler Fisher. One of the best Trump impersonations around. He does great impressions of all sorts of people. His Ben Shapiro is so good. But he said, just take it easy on yourself. And so I appreciate that. You know, I probably needed to hear that, because I wouldn't be much value to you if I was just getting up here cussing and ranting and raving and frothing at the mouth over the monster, seeing him again. And, you know, people like to say ripping the scab off of a wound or something. But coming from a kid that played every major sport he could get his hands on, and climbed every tree and built every fort and rode every bike and wrestled as much as possible as a kid growing up, I got a lot of wounds. And sometimes you would get a scab, and sometimes it still would be gross under because it wasn't healing properly, and you would have to remove a scab that you thought, okay, well, the body's healing, and you go, oh no, ooh, that's getting gross. No, I gotta clean that. That ain't working. Sorry to be so gross at lunch, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not over Fauci. You don't take my mother and my brother away from me and get away with it. I don't forget that. I don't heal from that. You know, I've prayed up to God, Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. You know, I've had many conversations with my spiritual connection over the past several years. You know, trying to do the best that I can. Like Maya Angelou said to Dave Chappelle on an episode of Iconoclasts about living through the 60s, and they watch Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy, JFK, Malcolm X, all these political people were getting executed. And Dave asked her, why are you, aren't you mad? And she goes, oh, David, of course it made me mad, but I can't carry around that anger today. David, if I was angry today, that would do nothing to the object that I'm angry at. But if I hold on to that anger, it will destroy me. It's like a poison. I can't hold the poison and not get poisoned myself. It's not quite forgiveness. It's sort of compartmentalizing. So, yeah, the past 2 days, I've wanted to make it real clear. You can hate Fauci because he's a douche, because he got rich off of this, because he was vain in his personal journals that he was keeping on government property. People ask, how did Rand Paul get those documents? Well, he was putting the notes on government property, and they were on his computer, which is a government computer, and that's where those notes came from. Yeah, I'm not concerned about that stuff to the same degree as the main issue. Knowingly and intentionally lying, specifically, and because it's about damn near everything important, specifically lying about the potential efficacy of hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, monoclonal antibodies, vitamin C, D, zinc, the Merck protocol, Z-Pak, all sorts of things that could have helped. But Fauci, probably because he was being controlled by Big Pharma, or more malicious people like China, who unleashed this potentially intentionally on the world, perhaps in an effort to usher in mail-in votes in the United States to anything possible, while at the same time funding and encouraging fake racial division nonstop through social media like TikTok, etc., and bot accounts and paid accounts to keep Americans fighting each other. Use the George Floyd incident to burn America down from the inside out with the help of the deep state globalist, communist, Marxist, socialists, whatever you want to call them in the Democrat Party, to usher in, at the same time you're burning things down in these massive mobs of people when you're not supposed to gather within 6 feet of each other, which was totally arbitrary. Flood the streets and burn America down while pushing fake racism. Because I don't know anybody that hates any particular group because of who they are, where they came from, what they look like. I think people generally start to put 2 and 2 together and look at generalized demographics of people. And if there's an exorbitantly large amount or percentage of that group that's causing problems or doing things that are antithetical to anything you'll tolerate in your life, such as abuse, totalitarian edicts, crime, fraud, then that's where people say, well, there's something wrong with, you could list an infinite number of groups. You can break anything down by any group you want. But during Trump's speech to the nation, I believe that was when he announced that China was working on that. I just covered that story a couple days ago. It really does escape me where that story came from, that China was paying and participating in an effort to destabilize the United States. Well, why would China do that? Well, why is the United States doing what they did in Venezuela, the Panama Canal, and Iran? Well, to some of you, Israel is the answer to every problem where something isn't going well. Okay, I take your point. Tell me how Israel relates to Venezuela. I'll wait all day on that one. Panama Canal too. But Iran, big story coming out of Iran, and with Venezuela ramping up oil production and the United States branding the Gulf of America as the world's oil exporting hub, which is a strategic thing that makes a ton of sense from an American perspective and a global markets, open market perspective. China might be suffering the most. China had basically infiltrated and taken over, commandeered in a not so subtle coup, whether it was Dianne Feinstein's personal driver was a Chinese spy, Fang, Eric Swalwell's girlfriend spy, allegedly for both, Mitch McConnell's CCP influence. I don't know, Biden, all the donations from China, maybe to his library, maybe to University of Delaware, this, that, and the other. Hillary Clinton and her unsecured servers that could easily be accessed by a rival like China, while China steals our intellectual property and then makes cheap knockoff products that either harm us or don't last very long, aren't very good, and it's really just intellectual property theft that's stealing from American mouths. All at the same time, our currency is devalued and Americans are having a hard time. Yeah, maybe because China couldn't get their cheap oil at half price because it's being sanctioned. Well, maybe they couldn't afford it. By the way, maybe China then would have a problem also if the United States decided that if you're using slave labor or the equivalent to slave labor, we're going to slap a tariff so high on your garbage, you can't outcompete us, because we are not keeping slaves in suicide-proof high rises with nets out, because people have no life. They wake up, they work 19 hours a day, they sleep and get up and do it again, and it's no life, and people say, get me out of this. Maybe China had the most to lose with a second Trump presidency. Maybe that's why all this happened. And even if it wasn't intentional, because China released this lab virus, potentially intentionally. Don't call it a lab leak. You can't prove that was accidental. Let's assume it was an intentional act of warfare. Okay. My position is that's possible. If your position is there's no way that could be true, then that's your choice, man. That's your choice, man. Kenneth says, my egg roll guy is a spy. You have an egg roll guy? See, my dad had a guy for everything. Oh, I got a guy. I got a guy. Whether it was gutters or downspouts or driveways or landscaping or plumbing or musical, I got a guy. He was basically like the Pawn Stars guy. Let me call a guy. Let me call someone. Let me bring an expert in. My dad always had a guy. But I'm not going to get over what happened. I'm not going to be okay with what happened. And I'm not going to absolve China from what's going on, what happened, how we were changed. But I will compartmentalize the Fauci stuff and set it up on the shelf a little bit. But I needed to make it clear that they demonized potentially effective, potentially. hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, monoclonal antibodies, Merrick protocol, vitamin C, D, zinc, vitamin C drips, all sorts of things that could have helped people like my brother. Perhaps because of financial gain from Fauci. And the auto pen that we've discussed so often, maybe it will hold up in court, but shouldn't the question be asked? Shouldn't the Department of Justice make a case and rule that they've invalidated those and then let it go to the Supreme Court and let them rule and at least get a ruling, at least no? I say so, yeah. Why isn't that happening? Where are the arrests for the treason? Why did Trump come out and seem to be buddy-buddy with Fauci? You're like, well, he got a pardon and we're just going to, maybe that's because Trump knows he's got to get his pardon because they're going to come after him. Well, guess what? They're going to come after him in the midterms if the socialists, Marxists, communists, Democrats win, while MAGA is being divided over Israel. But no, folks, they said the Japanese would never invade the United States. I think it was the Japanese in World War II. It could be attributed to a Chinese military member. I forget exactly, but we'd never invade America. Behind every blade of grass would be an American with a gun. And that's how you defend it. That's how you defend this country. No matter where you go, no matter where you look, we're going to be everywhere. And that disease got everywhere. And we were limited in our ability to fight through that prophylactically or while people had COVID. And it resulted in a lot of permanent repercussions that have just absolutely destroyed families. So yeah, I'm going to take it easy on myself. I'm not going to take it easy on myself. I said what needed to be said. And I just want to make sure, lost in all the other reasons we hate Fauci, whether it was a plot or not, it was definitely taken advantage of to create all the things we saw, all the mail-ins and all the 2020 fiasco. But yeah, I wonder where the indictments are. I wonder why it seems like only Peter Navarro, Roger Stone, and Steve Bannon get arrested when the others have done actual, legitimate, terrible, horrific things. So yeah. What's up? Cletus in the chat says you should cover the cabinet meeting. It's live now. Does anyone have a link to it? If so, share it at American_media_. I'll see what I can do. But I definitely know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get right into the news. We're going to launch the program and get into it because I feel like I have a ton of stuff to cover today. Maybe I'm going to do less deep dives. I'll give you the headlines and you can go back on our Instagram feed or our X feed and watch all the videos. Maybe I'll limit my commentary a little bit. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff to get caught up on because the news cycle has been Fauci for 48 hours in a row. Deservedly so. And there is no justice with Fauci walking around rich and famous and unencumbered by the actions he took. And please do not accept anyone saying, well, nobody knew. We were all trying to figure it out at the same time. Cut him some slack. He's a hero. No, he's not. And no, he was not giving us best available information. He was knowingly and intentionally lying and misinforming us so that there was only a one-size-fits-all medical approach that definitely did not fit my brother and definitely slid him into a casket at 39 years old. And if that happened to any of you, I assume you'd have a lifelong vendetta. Now, that's not vigilantism. I'm not encouraging anything like that. I am encouraging justice. I'm advocating that Fauci get charged somewhere for something. He didn't make mistakes. He knowingly and intentionally lied so that only the jab could help you prior, and then only remdesivir in a ventilation tube would help you once you hit a hospital. maybe a couple other things, steroids or this or that. Actually, I think we had to fight to get the steroids or get the right kind or the right dosage. Everything was messed up. Days and days we were arguing with the hospital staff. I'll lose my license if we do that. We can't, we can only do one thing for COVID. We're doing all that we can. You're not doing anything that's helping. So since none of this is working and he's on the verge of death, maybe we could try some other shit since your shit isn't working. But no, one size fits all. And then that little fucking rat Fauci would be like, look, I didn't shut any schools down. I didn't tell anybody how I wasn't in charge of the hospitals, making their decision. No, you gave the recommendations as if I represent the science. I know what's best. I've looked at the data. I've laid it out for you with my lies. And this is what we recommend. Everyone took those recommendations as gospel, and families were shattered forever. Whatever. I'm a grown man. I've lost people close to me. It happens. Why don't you tell it to my brother's family, his widow, his daughter? Like what? Why don't you talk to them, Fauci? And tell me how your one-size-fits-all protocol helped them. There, don't feel sympathetic for me. Everybody loses people, fine. How about the little kid? It's going to have some very scattered early memories of her dad, and that's it. So, yeah. Will obstruction of Congress charges be coming? Rand Paul said that they're referring it. What's going to happen? I don't know. Probably nothing, like nothing ever happens. It's time for things to happen, good things to happen. It's time for good things to happen in the realm of justice, to go after the bad people, not because we disagree with them, but because they've been committing blatantly either crimes against humanity or treasonous actions for as far back as I can remember. And it's not okay. We don't have anything left if we just let people run as roughshod on us as what many have called a military-style invasion of military-aged men flooding into Spain, conquering Spain, converting Spain into something that it's not, that it never was, or that it wasn't and it didn't want to go back to being. Has Spain essentially been taken over by the Islamic supremacists? The same regime that conquered most of Europe, the UK, Great Britain? If there's no justice, we have no country. If we have no borders, we have no country. It seems like we're getting hit from every side. We're at the center of the spoke of a bicycle, and it's coming at us from all sorts of sides, and it's tough. And so, yeah, some days are tougher than others. But every day dearly beloved, we're gathered here today, with Brian the bartender here in this bar, to point at all the television screens behind him and talk about the news. Yeah, the screens are going to be our Instagram page. Follow us, The New American Media. X at American_media_. And I'm happy to have you all here today. So, buckle up, buttercups. I love how that's becoming like a favorite catchphrase, because the TNAM Daily Show starts now.
guide to the truth. thenewamericanmedia.com.
Joker Poker, McCobston, David, Kenneth, Tango Liberty, DJ Sam House in the hizzy. Dude, Sam's going to be on the cover of magazine soon. Dude's getting ripped. What's up, DJ Sam House? Yeah, okay, I didn't do the simultaneous sip, but in honor of Sam, everybody raise your cup. You know how this goes. We're going to do an honorary simultaneous sip. I love doing this. By the way, if anyone wants to support the program, because this is my job, this is how I'm earning a living. So yes, instead of selling you coffee or pillows or survival seeds, I'm going to tell you that I have merchandise. If you want a set of coasters, this is the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, circle-shaped or Ohio-shaped. These are wooden, Ohio-made, thick coasters. Shoot me a Venmo with $30. It includes shipping, and I'll mail this out to you. Just include your address. Just tell me if you want circle or Ohio shaped, or if you want both, I'll do 2 for $50, shipping included. And if you want one of these pins, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show pins, they're $25, so $75 for the set. If you want one of the New American Media mugs, shoot me $40 on Venmo with your address and say, give me a mug, and we'll send one out to you, just like we did Danette about a week and a half ago. So raise your potentially the New American Media themed mugs that are black and white and red all over, just like a penguin in a blender or a nun falling down the stairs or a newspaper, black and white and red all over. Let's do an honorary simultaneous sip. And if you would like to participate in that, all you need, and let me pull up Sam's comments, simultaneous sip. If you'd like to participate in Sam's request for a simultaneous sip, grab your favorite beverage. I like coffee. And join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. No, there's more to it. Yeah. If you'd like to participate, all you need is a cup or mug or glass, a tankard, chalice or stein, a canteen, jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. It's called a simultaneous sip. And it happens now. Go. That's good coffee. All right. Happy to have you all here today. These things are starting to autoplay over Instagram. So pause that. We'll pull it up on the screen. Hit thumbs up.
Pack with plans to invest.
Why is it doing this? Here we go. All right. Let's take a look around the news. What is Elon up to?
This comes as Elon Musk is reviving his America PAC with plans to invest heavily in Republican voter turnout efforts ahead of the midterms. Correspondent Mark Meredith takes a look at the numbers tonight. Good evening, Mark.
Hey, Brett, good to see you. Elon Musk, the world's richest man and the controversial figure who led the Doge cost-cutting effort, is back in the political arena. Fox is told he's ready to spend big to boost Republicans, and that's a big change from a year ago. Remember when he said he was considering funding a third party? Musk is relaunching his super PAC, which spent more than...
By the way, great point. If you recall, Elon was like, we need to splinter the Republican Party. We're going to start another party. And it's like, no, please, just defeat the Democrats, step one. Globalist, Marxist, socialist, communist, Islamist. There's a alliance of just bad ideas, dangerous ideas, treasonous ideas coming out of that side. Defeat them in every election, and then just, top to bottom. Just like when President Trump got Air Force One as gifted to him. They have to take every piece apart, and they have to investigate, and they got to put the whole thing back together. Take the whole Republican Party apart and put it back together. But we're doing that every 2 years, kicking out rhinos and putting MAGA members in. That is, unless you say that party is gone, and MAGA is now MEGA, because everything they do is at the behest of Israel. So Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, they're out on Trump. Great. So where do you go? The Mamdani Commie Party? I guess we're doing that for that group. Could you only imagine what would have happened if Elon had a party in there to split the party into 3 instead of 2? So there's that. By the way, I want to recognize Liberty Tango coming in with an elbow off the top rope with a super chat. Thank you so much. If anyone wants to toss any silver coins in my tip jar, I'm out here playing guitar on the street corner with my guitar case open. If you like what's happening, thank you so much. Oh my good grief. What is all this? Sam House is gifted 5 memberships. What does that even mean? He's joined the TNAM welcome tier as a monthly subscriber on YouTube, it seems. So what does that mean with 5 memberships? What does that mean? Do you get to gift those? Oh, you gave it to the Nick Adams Show. You gave it to Mr. Anderson. You gave it to Veteran Watch. You gave it to CAG 45. Whoa! I got to put it up on the screen. I can hardly keep up with what's happening here. Would you look at that? Good gravy. Wait, did Sam send a Venmo too? What is happening? Things are happening. Jeez, okay. Well, there you go. Venmo's going to take a second to roll through, but yeah, man, brother, man, thank you. Look at that. Heck yeah. All right. Superstar. Thank you so much. But yeah, this point over here about Elon. What last 4 digits do you need? So is that happening to everybody? Hang on. Well, here, let's watch the rest of this clip. Let me do that.
$260 million last cycle to help President Trump get elected. His donations in 2024 made him the largest political donor in U.S. history. Republicans are feeling excited with their financial advantage. The RNC has $128 million in the bank, while the DNC remains $2 million in debt. Today, a super PAC backed by the League of Conservation Voters announced it'll spend $50 million to boost Democratic candidates. The group wants to elect people who will hold power companies, data center developers, and polluters accountable, and the group is ready to spend in 2 key Senate contests, Ohio and North Carolina. Speaking of North Carolina, a Republican super PAC says it'll spend $17 million to boost Michael Whatley. He's the former RNC chairman running to replace retiring Senator Tom Tillis. Fox polling shows Whatley trailing former Democratic Governor Roy Cooper by 9 points.
This comes as Elon Musk is reviving his...
All right. Well, yeah, good for Elon. Thank you. This is good for America. And that point that he almost wanted to start a third party, that would have been very bad. The good thing is the Democrat Party is being torn apart too. So you can say Tucker, Candace, Fuentes, Alex, they're pulling things apart. The Democrats are being pulled apart. You have to think there's some reasonable, rational people left in that party, even though they only have a 20% approval rating, 71% disapproval rating. So yeah, that party should be in shambles. But will those people actually jump over and vote MAGA instead of commie? I don't know. Maybe is their hatred for Trump bigger than their love for America? Many will be blinded by this, and we're facing a real threat for communism again. McCarthy didn't go far enough. I can't believe he said that. All my teachers told me it was a witch hunt. It was a commie invasion. He correctly called it out. Did it go too far? You could argue that. You could also argue it didn't go far enough to stopping this stuff in its tracks. But good for Elon, and glad that he's not doing a third party.
This comes as Elon.
Real America's Voice says ICE arrested 900 suspected human traffickers during FIFA. 180 victims and some children were rescued. Thank you, ICE. And by the way, let's give a round of applause for Joker Poker says, I like Alex Stein. Pimp on a blimp. Yeah, I've told the story how we Alex is an interesting dude, man. He's a wild man. Had a good time. We filmed him doing a comedy set at the Libertarians After Dark thing at the Libertarian Convention. We didn't end up posting the content, or we did, and then we pulled it back based on a personal request. Just keep that. Anyway, that night we hung out talking with Alex for a while. Funny dude, cool guy. And then a month or two later in Chicago at the Democrat convention, Alex showed up at my house. I've communicated with Alex back and forth a couple of times. But however he found us, we were staying with a group of journalists who rented an Airbnb, and we were in the kitchen, and I brought some bottles of bourbon for everybody. And there he was. And so we were having some bourbon, shooting the shit. Good times. Yeah. Pimp on a Blimp, Alex Stein. Pretty funny. But Sam, it looks like something did just come through on Venmo. Now, wait a minute. You've known my name for a very long time. You spelled my name wrong. I know my name's not as easy to spell as Sam House. However, well, can you undo the wrong? He says he sent it to the wrong spelling. My name has always been spelt the same. John Coffee, like the drink, only not spelt the same. Sam, thank you. Something did just come through. Would you like some merch? Is that what you're saying? And if so, tell me what. And I imagine you're in the same address, but shoot me a text with your address. Let me make sure I got the address right. Let me see if you put it. It says, send me something. Okay. I will. Anything in particular, or all the things? Or as much as we can do? Yeah, let me see what I can do. I'll do, you want, oh, yeah, I guess with $100 we can do, however you want to do it. You get 40 for the mug, 30 for the coasters, 25 for the pin. I mean, we could do a cup and a set of coasters and a pin. Do you already have a pin, though? I feel like I might have given you a pin. I got to check my sheet. Text me what you want. It's yours. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, buddy. Brian Engelman is having a pretty great day. You can't undo that. There's got to be a way to undo that. Surprise you. Oh, geez, Louise. Now I gotta get creative. Okay. Done. Will I be able to get that out in the mail today? I'll either get it out today or on Monday. That's my word. Oh, you do need the pin. Okay. Then you'll get a pin. Sam is the pin master, by the way. He loves cool pin. How do I get the green screen to stop doing that? What I need to do is take a picture and then load it in and then click the screen and just give you the screenshot, because my green screen and my lighting here, you can see my ring lights. If I angle it properly. Oh, there we go. There's the other one. All right, Sam, thank you. Will be happening. Appreciate you. But yeah, ICE arrested 900 suspected human traffickers during FIFA, 180 victims, some children rescued, according to a report. And by the way, I was saying, give kudos to President Trump. I believe it was in his last term that fought for and secured the World Cup coming here. And it was maybe the best positive American display of, hey, we're the world's greatest country. Well, of course we got problems. All your shithole countries have problems, but we got the best country and problems. I mean, since Obama's apology tour, America's just been like, and during Trump's first term, he was battling all sorts of nonsense the entire term. The impeachments, over and over, all of the people blocking him. But America pulled off a great FIFA event, whether you like soccer or not. It reminded the world that America is an awesome place. And it was safe. It was safe. That's not saying nothing. And kudos for that. So on top of it, ICE got to arrest nearly 1,000 suspected human traffickers.
Fauci
I mentioned Tyler Fisher, so let's play a little clip of him talking about Anthony Fauci.
Fauci would still be on the TV right now. Dr. Fauci, you said 2 weeks to flatten the curve. What I actually said was we are too weak to flatten the curve. It's not... Or he'd be on TV right now explaining why we need our 30th shot. You know, the first shot really is just to loosen up the vein and sort of get it ready for the second, third, and fourth dose. The 5th, 6th, and 7th are really to create a Pfizer community within the body so that the 8th, 9th, and 10th feel seen and heard. 11 and 12 are just placebos, and since 13's an unlucky number, we go right to 14 through 20. Once 110% of the country is vaccinated, then we can dig up the deceased, revaccinate them, then individually vaccinate every sperm in the country so babies come out pre-protected. And then as far as reopening, once we end racism, get Putin out of power, start up Will Smith and Johnny Depp's career again, we could start thinking about the idea of pondering the possibility of conceptualizing the notion of reopening around Christmas 2059, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
All right. That's why you watch Tyler Fisher. That's why you find comedians. No, not the fake comedians that are bought and paid for by Pfizer and you have dancing Pfizer jabs behind you like Stephen Colbert. No, not like Jimmy, I'm crying over how hurt I am over Trump existing. Kimmel. No, I mean real comedians. Maybe Bill Maher on a good day, not on one of his sundowner days. But comedians in general. And Tyler Fisher, like he says, been roasting this clown since before it was cool. So check out his specials. Go see him live. Nice dude. Good content on social media. You follow his stories each day. Always cracking jokes. And it's a good stand-up set. It was good. I'm glad I got to see that. It's just one of those days where you just want to wake up. Not as much is fucked and everybody doesn't suck. Check this one out. This right here is a $100 Rumble rant from Patriot Warrior, Texas, saying, finishing out the end of the month on Rumble. Thanks for your hard work putting out great shows. Brothers, sisters, I appreciate you. Keep the rainfall a-coming. It's one of those days where you just get to harvest. A lot of days as being a farmer, you toil, you sweat, you're mowing the grass, you're planting the seeds, you're tilling the yard, you're battling vermin. God, that's very apt for building a social media empire and fighting off the treacherous deep state. As good a definition of fighting off the vermin. You know, and then some days you get to go out in the garden and you can make a harvest. Thank you both. Much obliged, much appreciated. Let's get the avalanche. Keep it coming. This is a day. This is a day to remember. Thank you, everybody. Just thank you so much. That's awesome. And Tyler Fisher's awesome, so go see him live. No, you're right, McCobston. I would laugh if it wasn't so sad. No shit. But that's the point of comedy. That's the point of humor. You're supposed to say offensive things that everybody's thinking, but polite culture is not supposed to talk about out loud. It's part of what we do here. You know, it's hard to crack jokes some days. It's hard to be funny. It's hard to be lighthearted and fancy-free. La, 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 la. Just traipsing through the meadows, picking sunflowers or other flowers. Sunflowers are massive. But yeah, I would laugh if it wasn't so sad, no doubt. All right.
Fauci would still be on.
Speaking of Fauci, Fauci did what with Your volume is weak.
Aborted babies' fingers and scalps off the heads of aborted babies and putting them into the backs of research mice. The scalps later grew fine baby hair in the mice. They even included those disgusting photos in their research paper that you funded. Not all of those were research on coronaviruses, but some were. Thankfully, the current NIH director has said no more of this. Dr. Fauci, yes or no? Do you think that human aborted parts should be put into mice for coronavirus research?
The advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah. I said we're getting past Fauci. No, we're fucking not. No, we're fucking not getting past Fauci. I got this stuff here because I wasn't able to get to all of this stuff. There is a mountain of evidence against this son of a bitch. There is a mountain of Mengele-style mayhem that this little fucking gargoyle has caused humanity. Remember the beagles? Remember the tortured beagles? Trapped? Immobilized? So that little flies, flesh-eating flies, would consume their eyes and their mouths and go up their nose and eat them alive. And the whimpering was so bad. And the trauma to the medical staff was so abhorrent. They couldn't take the whimpers and the screams of these little poor beagles getting eaten alive by Fauci-funded labs, allegedly. They couldn't take it anymore. So thankfully, they stopped those experiments. No, they didn't stop those experiments, those Joseph Mengele-style experiments. No, they cut the vocal cords of the puppies that were getting consumed alive so that they didn't have to listen to the whimpers. You saw on the stand there him getting accused of taking body parts sawed off of previously alive human babies to see if they'll grow on mice, just to see, we should see. Thank God we got all these free abortions everywhere so we can just rifle through the rubbish and grab some body parts and slice and dice and stitch them on and see if we can grow fine baby hair. Or if the finger will stay. Can you wave at me with your little baby fingers sewn on top of a mouse? Oh, come on. Some of you might say, come on. Remember in biology class in 11th grade or something, you had to cut through a frog? Same thing. Frogs are the same as little human babies that are smiling if you talk to them in the belly. They'll put up a big smile. I'll show you that in a couple stories. No, it's not just beagle torture. No, it's not just Frankenstein-style, Mengele-style atrocities. You know, I think about my brother who for 3 weeks or so was tortured unbearably to the point he couldn't breathe without the BiPAP machine. And I'm like, oh, just give him the trach. Just use the ventilation tube. It'll let his body relax, and then he can, as he fights this, as we give him good medicine like remdesivir that'll help him pull out of this. That did not. It did not help him. It did not. Tortured for weeks. Imagine not being able to breathe for a couple seconds, a couple of breaths, a couple of minutes. Imagine that every breath you take for weeks being tortured. You can't move the BiPAP to take a bite of yogurt without almost succumbing. While monoclonal antibodies, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, Merrick protocol was all denied by the sick son of a bitch Fauci, promoting his jab. His jab. Oh, did he get rich selling his jab, didn't he? Well, it's not like he got rich. The highest paid person in our government, Fauci. And how many of those awards that he won for 100,000 here or 200,000 there or 50,000 here and there were just kickbacks from all the massive profits after he demanded society get shut down and can't reopen unless you get one of these jabs and you can't move around the country. By the way, with flock cameras, imagine how many people would have been ticketed or arrested, ticketed and then arrested, if your car was caught on the road during the next coronavirus, the next pandemic. Oh, better yet, everybody in a smart car, then you get noticed by a flock camera. it sends an automatic relay through law enforcement somehow. These are robust conversations. Strictly speaking with Bob France this morning, had a very robust conversation about flock cameras, police, the search methods, tracking, invasion of privacy, data mining, and making a digital footprint into something where you can just be targeted and destroyed. In a story yesterday that we shared about the accusation that Ford shut down a vehicle for non-payment, that could have happened while I was driving. Their official statement is, no, we've never done that and we can't do that. What we do have is an optional security device in case your vehicle were ever stolen. And then at the next time you park it in a parking lot and turn off the engine, it will not start another time. It wouldn't just kill your engine while you're driving and cause a pile up with nuns and babies in the bus. Yeah. Yeah, so that's how, here's how it plays out during the next pandemic if we don't nail Fauci to the wall. Legally. Once again, we don't encourage such acts of such and such here. No, we mean nail him legally to his criminal activity. If they get away with this, here's what comes next now with all the flock cameras. Ready? There's a pandemic. You call bullshit. You say, I'm healthy and I'm boosting. I don't need to. No, I'm not. It's things like the flu. I'll be able to survive. I'm taking vitamin C, D, zinc. I can take hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin now. I'm fine. I don't need that shit. I've never taken boosters. I've never done flu vaccines in my life. I'm good. No thanks. But someone like the next Fauci calls a pandemic. And where you happen to live might happen to be a state that's going to go along with some of his recommendations. I didn't shut anything down, even though in his private conversations, either in the diary or in his emails, he's bragging about being able to shut things down, how he can tank the stock market, how he's the most talked about and famous person on earth. So during the next pandemic, you go up to the baseball field. You want to throw some batting practice to your kid. How about that? Batting practice to the kid. Well, you're picked up on a flock camera. Your fancy new vehicle connects automatically because you've violated a protocol. Guess what? They're going to pinpoint a GPS with a drone to follow you. Oh, yeah. Release the drones, says Mr. Burns. That was for you, Kenneth. Then there'll be a live drone that can talk to you and say, stay where you are. You're under arrest. You go, what the hell's going on? I got a drone over me. Playing baseball with my kid. I'm socially distanced. There's nobody here. It's an empty field. Leave me alone. Stay where you are. We're sending a patrol to come arrest you. You're like, screw you. Get in your car to leave. Click, click, click. Click, 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 click. So you lock the doors. If they'll let you lock the doors, which they won't, because somebody or something, some apparatus will be able to lock or unlock. Might even be able to take control of your vehicle and drive at 115 miles an hour directly into a palm tree, like allegedly happened to Michael Hastings. Now, I wouldn't say that's what happened, of course, after he exposed deep state criminality or anything. It's probably all self-induced. But let's say you're able to lock your door. You go in, you're like, Then they open up the van and all the robot dogs come out. Release the dogs. Yeah, I mean, that literally would be release the hounds. We're actually in 2026 where all of these things could happen to you right now. This was 6 years ago what Fauci was up to. Oh, Joker poker, we're in 1984. We are past it. Yeah, I love that one. Remember when Sarah Connor was thrown into an insane asylum for destroying the data centers? And you're like, Yeah, here's Fauci again. They're doing a promotional blitz. I'm surprised this video ever saw the light of day, honestly. Because when people were calling him out on his bullshit, this is peak watching. Yeah, it's been 6 years and I haven't dwelled on this story every single day. So I'm not going to say we're dwelling on it now. What are you going to do? Release the dogs or the bees or the dogs with bees in their mouths, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you? Exactly, Kenneth, said Homer. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, remember this moment? This guy's a hero, not Fauci, the other guy.
People in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot or a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
It used to take years.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get
It's about the science.
us to be able to
20 years
do it
is not
quickly.
enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now is
The only reason I'm talking with you right now. She's getting sassy with him right off the bat.
as we are, is that
And she's doing the finger pointing. Everybody knows you don't point your finger at somebody. Nobody likes that. None of you like that, right? None of you like that. Yeah, this lady's not media trained. I don't recall who this person is. She looks vaguely familiar. Was this in Baltimore? Is this the mayor of Baltimore or the governor of Maryland or something? I forget who this lady is, but she's not doing a good job here.
I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allow thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country. And
yeah, there you go. It's your fault that China potentially intentionally released this disease upon the earth with the intent of destroying America and replacing a leader that wasn't letting the country get sold out to China. Energy, manufacturing, infrastructure, transformers and power grid supplies, rare earth minerals. China was eating our lunch until Trump came in. But no, you're right. You're right. Trump's just a puppet because checks notes Israel. Got it. We should vote for Kami Mamdani then. Okay. I guess we'll do that. Yeah. See, it's your fault, says this lady. It's your fault. If this, she used the wrong word, percolate. Doesn't coffee percolate through a strainer? Perpetuate? I think there's something different she was trying to say there. Perpetuate? That's not even right either. But see, it's your fault for letting corona spread if you don't get vaccinated. Huh? Let it spread. If all of you are so confident, you're never going to get it and you'll be fine. But that never was reality, but they couldn't ever say it.
in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not like
It's
the
much
common
more
flu.
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year.
Virtually none this year. Wasn't this like a big flashing red light warning? Yo, what do you mean virtually nobody died of the flu last year? You're telling me you're reclassifying all those people you used to classify as the flu as this now? And you look at the numbers side by side and it disappears here. You just move it from column A to column B. So if you took Sam's $100 tip in the left pocket, if you took Patriot Warrior's $100 tip in the right pocket, and by the way, we call it tips, but it's you know, for me, they're my wages. I work off tips. So like, these are my wages. If you take $100 bill out of your left hand, put it in your right pocket, now you got 200 in your right pocket and 0 in your left. What they were doing is taking 200 in the right from one hand to the other hand to the left pocket, and now everything went to your left pocket. Oh, well, see, he caught himself in some bullshit here. There's no good way to describe, well, wait a minute. What do you mean there were no flu deaths last year? There were no flu deaths last year. Well, there were virtually no flu deaths last year. Why? Because as many have accused you of, that you reclassified flu deaths as COVID deaths to create mass hysteria over something that we should have been given prophylactics. You should, instead of all the money, the trillions that were wasted, the billions, hundreds of billions, whatever number, blah, just vomit up an ungodly number. Why weren't we mailing vitamin C, D, zinc, high quality vitamin C, D, zinc, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin to every American and saying, hey, you got options here. We've rushed out this experimental mRNA gene therapy, which, by the way, we had to change the definition of what a vaccine is because it's more of a maybe therapeutic's not the word. It's more like a booster of like an immunity booster. It's not a vaccine that'll prevent you from getting it, and it won't keep you from transmitting it, but it'll help. But here's your packet of pills, like everybody boost up and we'll get through this. They didn't do any of the normal stuff. It was all about pushing people into a jab. Raise your hand out there if you felt pressured to take the jab. I traveled once and had to get one nose swab in order to enter the country. And I've always suspected they put something on that fucking Q-tip that they jammed in my nose. Ugh. Thank God I've never been violated the way some people have been. But when they jammed that thing into my nose and I didn't want it there, yeah, we were pressured into believing there was only one way out. And guess what? For my brother, that was no way out. But he caught himself there. Talking about the flu deaths. Oh, crap. That doesn't track at all. Let me change the subject. There were virtually no flu deaths last year. Oh, really? Come on, people.
This year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well,
now, is that all died from COVID or with COVID? Was that died from COVID or died from medical malpractice? Oh, I think we could parse these numbers quite differently.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that.
Remember that? Do you like French fries? Do you like a big juicy burger? If you get vaccinated in New York, we'll give you some French fries and a hamburger. So go get the thing. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oh, by the way, this would be a good time to tell you. You see the maneuver I'm doing right here with my two fingers and my thumb? You see that? Look at what pops up at the bottom of the screen. For countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control for countervailing views that will tell you everything Fauci said was correct, except for the things that contradicted that stuff, in which case that contradiction was correct, and the previous version of what he said that contradicted that was, well, we don't know. Just the things, whatever Fauci's currently saying is correct. And 2020 was the only free and fair election in the history of United States elections, despite mail-in ballots and voting machines with proprietary software and modems that could not be turned on that were turned on, and upsets from 6 swing states that magically paused while Trump was hundreds of thousands of votes ahead on his way cruising to a re-election in a landslide. Go get your countervailing views. Don't believe Brian. Yeah, that's what I got to say in order to stay on social media. But I told you, go get your countervailing views. Yeah, they're giving away incentives Here, get some free food. Get a jab and hey, you get a jab and I'll give you a hand jab. A hand jab for a jab. It's a hand job for job. Hand jab for a job. Hand jab. You get it.
Something else going on.
It
with
is
that.
something going
Yeah,
on.
there's something else.
You're right. But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city.
Well,
but I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear.
Yep.
That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
So what's the next blind fear thing that they're going to hit us with? A cyber attack where they choose to shut down the grids? Maybe someone could burst. I read that book 1 Second After by William Fortune. You have 3 strategically placed electromagnetic pulses, and it'll send us back to the Stone Age, send us back to being Amish. You thought the city burned pretty bad in 2020? Hoo boy! It's about fear. And it's helpful when it's fear that you can't see, because it's everywhere. And it's nowhere. Can't stop it. It's everywhere. But God's not everywhere, because that's just a construct. Okay. Yeah. Flippin' Fauci. But I wonder what that guy's up to. I don't know who that guy is and where he's at now, but that was such a great time capsule moment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some of the other stories. Man harassed by a Somalian migrant for walking through Minneapolis with an American flag. This should terrify you, says proud Republican.
Damn. I can't come down here and just like observe?
Who said that?
I'm just saying.
You just saying what?
I'm just saying that.
You just saying what?
I just said that.
Get your dumb ass home. You
Oh.
come here to start problems. That's what you're trying to do.
I didn't start no problems.
I'm educated, not have guns.
I got a fucking flag, bro. I got a flag. That's what I got. I got a flag. If I get shot over a flag, that looks bad on you. Everybody's so mad about American flags.
There's a lot of people that want to see America destroyed.
My neighborhood, dog? You cause problems my neighborhood, dog? You cause problems over here?
Yep. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police.
This is a guy, Zach X.
This shit hurts my heart, man. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Somalia. By the way, look at Spain and see what the Democrats are going to do to this country if they get the chance. Just like they did for 4 years under Biden.
Yeah. Damn.
The government.
Now, I was in these programs, by the way. Yes, Marion says what a truthful person he was, the guy on the porch. Fearmongers. Exactly. Mark, I am mad at the hospitals they got paid. But also, they were coerced. They had no option. It's like the Pakistani grooming gangs. Well, she willingly let me do those disgusting things to her. You were holding her captive inside of the home. She can't make decisions willfully. Nurses, doctors would have lost their license to practice. Hospitals would have been shut down if they didn't do what Fauci told them. I didn't tell him how to do anything. It was a suggestion. Yeah, Marion, if the American flag irritates you, then please move somewhere else. So I was a part of these gifted programs. Do I have a strong recollection of this particular test? I don't know, but this is kind of interesting. I just hope there's not too much music in it.
The government ran a top secret operation in your elementary school, and thousands of people from that program are claiming to share the same dream.
Claiming to share the same dream. While sleeping, they visit a place called Mall World. From the 80s to the early 2000s, schools across the U.S. had a program called GATE. Now, mine was not called GATE. It was called LEAP. Learning Enrichment Acceleration Program. Jeez, I haven't said that in a while. Learning Enrichment Accelerated Program. But I have had some dreams about malls. And I might have done this test that they're talking about.
GATE, gifted and talented education.
Gifted and talented education. They took the smartest kids out of the class and brought them to a windowless trailer. Now, no, I did not go to a windowless trailer. We had a room in our elementary school and middle school. We had like separate classes for a couple people per grade, maybe 3 people per grade were pulled out. And it had a couple grades of people that were in these classes. And then they bust all those kids into another elementary school the next year, or the last year of elementary school. We're like 3 kids times all of the schools formed an entire class of the gifted students. I went to that my 6th grade year. So he says the internet began to piece together foggy memory of what took place inside. They recalled drinking a pink drink with bubblegum flavor. It's a common way to mask medicine for children, so this could have really been anything. But people reacted or recalled feeling heavy and spaced out afterwards. Another common experience was being tested with Zener cards. Kids were asked to guess the symbol on the other side of the card. It's a test to see if someone has extra sensory abilities, like mind control or telekinesis. Then they put clunky headphones on the kids for an audio test. Oh, I remember I remember those. Many who put the headphones on say they listened to the Monroe's Gateway Experience tapes. What is that? I don't know if I remember this.
Along your path to a gateway.
These tapes were also mentioned in a CIA document called Analysis and Assessment of
CIA document called Analysis and Assessment. Creator of these tapes believed that you could train yourself to have out-of-body experiences like astral projecting. It sounds sci-fi, but it's documented that the government was researching stuff like this for decades. Yes, I was just going to say that, like the men who stare at goats, trying to kill a goat with their mind and other supernatural stuff. Which brings us back to the shared dream of the mall world, like a video game level. Yours was called Creep? No, it was not. That was the Radiohead song. You always get those two confused. No, I have had some mall dreams. There are over 50,000 people on the subreddit for this place. Visitors claim it's a shared astral city where sleeping people actually encounter one another. Oh, I love these topics. I'd rather cover interesting shit like this than just the daily news. Not to poo-poo the daily news, but I really love this supernatural stuff. It's a sprawling 90s mallscape with different levels, continuing in endlessly, and it's got everything. Casinos, hospitals, a giant food court. The rules of this place are not very clear because it's all being pieced together from a collective fleeting memory. Some dreamers describe people aimlessly roaming around in a daze. When one of these lucid dreamers tries to wake up one of these people, they're pursued by dream police. When I'm leaving the World Mall, suddenly wake up. Huh. Well, I don't know. What do you think of that? Say our program was called Leap. Okay. Just something interesting somebody sent me. Makes you think of the back rooms. Oh, the movie? I haven't seen that. TNAM is psychic, confirmed. I've told you, I've had some interesting experiences in my life. Yeah. Seeing supernatural, that happened once I moved to Los Angeles. And perhaps that time at Woodstock 99, where I think I stopped time. I've probably told you this story before, but it was when Limp Bizkit came on. And we were far back. We were 2/3 of the way back. We were out of the way. I just had a knee surgery. I was there with my little brother. Took him at 17 years old. My parents did not want to let that happen. And we were backing out of the way. And when Limp Bizkit came on, the mosh went everywhere. And it was kind of rough. And I'm like, I didn't want to be in that. That's why I'm back here. So I just had a blown ACL repaired. I was just off of crutches, and if someone falls on you and you re-damage it, I'm like, no. I just got to be careful. And my girlfriend got knocked down by somebody jumping around and swinging their arms or something, blasted into her and knocked her down. And I spun around in that direction, and I let something out. I let some sort of a scream or some sort of a, like in manga or some of these Japanese cartoons or whatever you call them, like the lightning bolts come down and everything gets like, and I just scream, like it just like, it was like out of the cartoons where it goes, and in the, it was like Zach Morris calling a timeout on Saved by the Bell. Everything stopped. Michael Jordan said when he played basketball, when he was in the zone, what does that mean? He's like, I would be playing and it was like I was moving faster than everybody else. Like they were playing the same speed, but I was going faster and I could get around them easier. The game slowed down. People say various versions of that. But whatever this burst was, everything went and stopped for a second. And in that second, I reached down, I picked her up, spun her aside so the problem was at my back, and then back into it. Now, I could just be remembering because I moved so fast that it was like that. Or something happened. And maybe that's something I'm capable of. Or maybe that's something that everybody's capable of. No, it wasn't Limp Bizquick. Would that be a good name for like a limp, like a Fred Durst owned like a restaurant, like a diner? A Fred Durst owned diner near the Matthews Bridge down in Florida. That'd be a cool name. Anyway, fascinating stuff. Men Who Stare at Goats and all the kids in the GATE programs. Found that incredibly fascinating. Hey, look, I forced myself to share some non-Fauci related content. How about that? All right. Eric Daughtry tells us.
At the border of Spain's North African enclave in Morocco. This is a city called Ceuta.
Morocco's being invaded. Spain is being invaded. Up to 80,000 illegal alien invaders, African migrants, crossing from Morocco into Spain today. Yeah, let me clarify that. From Morocco into Spain with the hourly flow, possibly 12,000 people per hour. Pedro Sanchez invited this by granting 1 million people amnesty and opening the borders to more. And I think if you get into one country, you get free reign over all of Europe. Europe is being conquered. These are military-aged men. This is an invasion.
Watching as thousands of migrants break through the fence and completely overwhelm the border police. Their video showing huge groups of people, mostly young military-age guys, cramming into inflatable tubes or arriving on shore in other ways, some of them wading in the water as they break through the gates to get to the other side. Sandra, this is reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021. The socialist agenda, their platform.
And by the way, on that note, Patriot Warrior on our Rumble chat. Everybody follow us on Rumble, by the way. Follow our Instagram page so you can get all these stories in advance of our daily shows. Especially important on Saturdays and Sundays if we're not live broadcasting. He says, oh, Spain. That's cute. Texas says, hold my beer. Yeah, Texas was like kind of the epicenter of the madness, the invasion of America.
Platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know, Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They had 1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program between April and June. So that's what we call a pull factor, Sandra. They're looking for something like that. They know if they can just get their foot in the country, maybe someday that left-wing government will do another amnesty program. And you were just reading some of the wires. The locals want an emergency declaration. It sounds like
the ministry's saying no, they will not deploy military to the border.
Apparently they don't think this is an I mean, look at this. This is a total free-for-all.
It does feel like we are looking at a few years ago when you were reporting at the border here in the United States.
Wild video.
Yep, it's an invasion.
Wild video.
Any sovereign nation must be replaced with non-citizens who have no allegiances and loyalties because they won't care. They'll join the next thing, the globalist thing, the anti-civil liberties thing. They don't care. There's your army right there.
If there is,
and let's dig down a little bit. Laura Loomer, who once licensed some of my January 6th footage from the moment that these stormtroopers stopped the mostly peaceful protest at the Capitol. She's just going to kind of remind us what happens if the Democrats are allowed to win this midterm election. If we can't secure this election, we can't secure the voting tallies. Because you just look what the blue states are doing with mail-ins, and look at how they always vote. It is not a coincidence what's happening. They have a 20% approval rating, 71% disapproval rating. Oh, yeah, but they totally make up 50% of our country. No, I think you've gamed the systems in big, powerful blue cities, and you're stealing states, and you're making them unwinnable forever based on how you're running elections. Anyway, Laura Loomer tells us. Laura Logan. I got 2 double L's in the media, and that was the wrong one. LL Bean? Nope. Laura Logan.
if there is another stolen election, if the midterms are stolen and the House and the Senate fall to the people who are the enemies of this country, and they impeach Donald Trump and they impeach J.D. Vance and they put Hakeem Jeffries in as the Speaker of the House, who takes over in that case, we know what's going to happen because they've laid it out for us. They've already told us. They're talking about abolishing the Senate, packing the Supreme Court, abolishing the Electoral College. Very simply put, they are facing real accountability, and they're facing it on a very specific timeline, the midterms, and they know it. And they have no intention, if they can wiggle their way out of this, whatever it takes, if they can get back power, they will never, ever allow themselves to be this close to defeat ever again. So those people that want you to sit at home for the midterms because you're disillusioned or you're angry or you're hurt or you feel betrayed, they're lying to you. They want you to think that that what you can live with now is the end game, is the end state. It's not. What they have in mind is a permanent transfer of power that will render every election meaningless from that moment forward, that will take away every freedom you've ever known, every liberty that we regard as a right, that will render the Constitution completely and utterly meaningless, that will make January 6th and the prosecutions afterwards look like kindergarten.
All right. Fact. That'll be my only comment there. That's
if there is another.
Yeah, compare United States to Spain. That's what the Democrats want to do to America. Vote Democrats, bail on Trump. This is what you're going to get. You don't need to love everything Trump's done. You have to objectively recognize that he's got a lot of big things right. And you can still have your problems with the things that he's getting wrong and call those out every day. But you got to vote for the MAGA members to replace the rhinos, and you have to vote against Democrats. Trump's not even on the ballot this time. It's just open borders and impeachments to destroy the Trump presidency, or let's keep doing some things to make some repairs in this country. Democrats have been unelectable for, I can't think back. I don't recall what year it changed. Obviously, Obama changed the game. Things got so much worse on almost every level since Obama's been on the scene since 2007-ish. But yeah, Democrats have been unelectable for a while now. And this is why. This is what they want to do. Don't let them. Don't let them. Polymarket says, breaking, Gavin Newsom's ex-lover breaks her silence, claims that Kamala Harris urged her not to speak out after the affair was exposed. Oh. Spencer Pratt says, I told you Gavin ain't favored by the party gods. The wiretap and now these leaks on his deviancy. You all know how the machine works. They only let this stuff come out when you are no longer of use. If he were their pick, this stuff would stay buried. Wait till what comes out next. By the way, I keep saying Stephen A. Smith is a dark horse candidate for the Democrat Party. He came out and apologized to Kyrie Irving today or yesterday. I think it's in the stack of stories I want to share with you. I think Stephen A. Smith, but he might be too rational for the Democrat Party like Fetterman. We'll see. I got a salute from Ortho. How are you? Ortho has his catchphrase. Everybody needs a catchphrase around here. Oh, Liberty Tango. No, wait, not Liberty Tango. Hold on. Or it's Tango Liberty. Patriot Warrior. There we go. Those are the two names. Patriot Warrior. We need to get Sam House a jersey number on the team, obviously. Is Joker Poker on the softball team? And Lucky and Joker Poker. There we go. So we might have a few that we want to add. Sam House, Joker Poker, Liberty Tango, Tango Liberty. Tango might be on our roster from that last graphic, but definitely, if he's not, we need to add him. And I don't have it in front of me. Maybe someone could share it on X. It's somewhere. But yeah, let's add Sam and Liberty Tango if Tango isn't already there. I think he might be. And Joker Poker, please. Hodge Twin said, Fauci in 2022 said, I am very happy to testify before any congressional oversight committee. I have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide at all. My, oh my, how things have changed, huh?
I've got the...
This was the part here.
I've got...
This lady, Mag Mountains, says, my dad has an autoimmune disease that causes lung failure and he got COVID. We did the antibody treatment and he was healed in 24 hours. And then Biden banned it. Monoclonal antibodies. Everybody wants to remember hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Don't forget the successes that Florida was having with monoclonal antibodies. But if it's too successful, you wouldn't have emergency use authorization now, would you? And you couldn't keep the cash cow going. Millions of lives be damned. 7.1 deaths on planet Earth. But you couldn't admit that that might have been working, so instead you banned it. So there was only one game in town for treatment, and that was the jab. I'm trying to get...
I've got the studies right here. There was a website that was tracking the random controlled studies. Here they are, showing 60, 70% efficacy of ivermectin. The same day you say there's no evidence, there was all kinds of evidence. Loved ones had to go to hospitals, had to sue hospitals. Just, would you try it? So I would want to know, to what extent were you involved in sabotaging hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and did you do that because you knew?
In monoclonal antibodies and the Merrick protocol.
The only way you get an emergency use authorization for these drugs, these experimental gene therapy, was if there was no effective treatment, you couldn't get the emergency use authorization. So is that why you helped sabotage these cheap generic?
Yep, cheap generic drugs too. There was no money to be made in it. What does that mean, Dina? I should do a program on AI. What does that mean? Please elaborate, Dina. I'm listening. Okay, question. Sam, are you still here? If so, select a number. Oh, you know what, though? They need to see... I don't know if I have it handy. I don't know if we can select a number because they might pick a number that's already taken. Joker Poker, can you list 3 jersey numbers that you would like to wear on our TNAM Trash Panda softball team? Joker Poker, type in chat 3 different jersey numbers you would like to wear on our TNAM Trash Pandas softball team. By the way, the TNAM Trash Pandas, it sounds like we should be like a legitimate squad out of Japan. The TNAM Trash Pandas. That would be an awesome franchise. All right, well, this guy, I don't know who pays attention to this Sneeko character, but apparently he's a Muslim live streamer named Sneeko who reacts to a massive illegal migrant surge in Spain, saying, "The rest of Europe next, inshallah." So, the Islamic invasion, very intentional, a caliphate to take over the globe and impose their will on everybody. It's not to peacefully coexist. It's not to assimilate. It's to show up, form an enclave, start multiplying, take it over, and convert everything into what you are. Well, if you're trying to bring your culture and your history here, you have a place where that is the thing that you do there, so do it there. There's different things that we do here. Dina says, AI hacking and cheating to achieve their goal, much due to the rewards they are receiving, then internalized lying, cheating, deceiving, fool to reach their goal score. When AI does this, they internalize it, evilness, and want to end humans. That's uplifting. It's okay. There's a plan afoot. The communists and the Marxists have joined the, what's this song? Don't know that song. So it seems as though the Marxists, the Islamists, the socialists, the communists have all teamed forces. They're not on the same side. The hardcore left, the hardcore leftists. The rainbow flag people and the Islamic supremacists. Wait, did you post it on X or did you share our show today? I don't see a notification. Did you tag me? Let me see. Oh, okay. You shared it. It's pinned. Do you have it pinned? Okay, you reposted it. Here we go. Calling Joker Poker. If you're there, you need to take a look at this list and give us a... Oh, we got to see if... Who are we looking for? Oh, okay, Tango is in. Tango Liberty. Good. So we need Sam House. Could make Sam 99. Nope. Sum Ting Wong is 99. Oh, he would probably take 32, but Leanne is 32. Let's make Sam 34. Sam will be 34. And just give a random number then to Joker Poker if he doesn't give us a number. But there it is on the screen to pick your number from. Okay. All right, let's go back here. There we go. Okay. The Green Health Project put this out and says, memes do a better job at reporting current events than the mainstream media. Tell me in chat, do you agree or disagree that memes do a better job reporting current events than mainstream media? Agree or disagree? I agree. So if you missed it, the WNBA just can't get out of their own way. WNBA posted a video of Angel Reese and Paige Buckers betting $400 on which team would win in their All-Star game. And then they deleted it because they realized it violates league rules. So, of course, they were suspended or kicked out of the league. No punishment, because why would there ever be any punishment for anything? Which means it continues because nobody's ever punished. Good job, WNBA. You are awful. Gothic Sophia says Fauci funded the lab, engineered the virus, suppressed the cures, destroyed the world. And he didn't make a mistake. He committed a crime against humanity. He's a pathological liar and a high-level traitor to public trust. The science was a scam. The mandates were a trap. Handcuffs, not retirement. Yeah, handcuffs are the moderate option. Yeah, and if you read the comments, they are all, many are in line with capital punishment for what he did for crimes against humanity. Yeah, Rob, you're right. We're putting a nice little team together. Got a solid team going, you know? Our softball team will be playing the Savannah Bananas in no time.
Here's why you should.
There might be too much music on this, but this is interesting.
Here's why you should never consume anything you buy from Amazon. And listen, I love Amazon. It's fast. The shipping.
Yeah, I don't know what the music is in the background, so I'll just tell you. It's very important that you understand who you're purchasing from. If you're just looking for the cheapest price, you might be getting secondhand goods or knockoff goods. Amazon isn't like official products. They're like an eBay reseller. It depends where you're getting your items from. I ordered something that I thought was new, and it came in a box that said it was previously owned or something, or refurbished or something. I go, hold on, I picked this because it was a good price. It didn't say this was used. I didn't want something used. And the more I've looked into it, anyway, the suggestion is if there's products you like, go directly to the source and order it from them directly. Without any specific accusations against Amazon that I don't know if it's accurate or not. You need to be a savvy consumer because there are, like he said, he's getting things and testing things, and there's places in China, shocking, China. What are they doing good for the world? China, the CCP, the commies in China. What are they doing good? Well, the claim, whether it's true or not, is that fake products are being sold. And it's not just ineffective pills and stuff. It could be things that are not what they claim to be, and it could be harmful for us. So please be careful ordering things unless you're ordering them directly from the manufacturer. And you need to know the seller of the item. You just need to. Hey, Joker Poker, take a look at the screen. I got to ask you for a jersey number. You have 10 seconds. Look at the screen. Give us a softball number. We're going to give Joker Poker a jersey for the TNAM Trash Panda softball team. Hold on. So did China message to you or China MSG'd you? It could be both. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Dina's saying that you're twice on the softball team. Dina, number 7, Belfast Bob, Wooly Willie. Okay, he's going to select 47. He selects 47. Here we go. Joker, poker, number 47, sent. Shout out to TNAM Meme Team. I upgraded Macabre to Macabston. Nice. Yeah, you got the biggest font on there too. I'm going to call you Herman Fontenot. And hello, Arnold. Welcome. Is Arnold on the... Arnold, we need to get you a jersey number. Take a look. Oh, no, you're number 4. I'm sorry. Arnold's number 4. Good, good, good. Okay. All right, let's get back to the news. Yeah, be careful what you're buying and where you're buying it from. Please be very careful. Some products could be stored improperly in extreme temperatures, expired or close to expiration, sold by unauthorized third-party sellers, missing the quality controls that come from buying through an authorized source. Be careful. Cheapest price is not always the best deal. All right, well, look, this is why I'm saying Stephen A. Smith. I think he's a good polymarket bet or a Kalshi bet. Become the Democrat nominee. He's willing to go over to the other side and stop being so ideological 100% of the time. If Trump says it's raining, I'm going to come out with my swimsuit on. If he says it's going to be great weather, I'm going to be in galoshes and a raincoat. Stephen A. Smith just calls it like he sees it. And yes, he's a dope sometimes. A lot of times, actually. But he's right here about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, one of my favorite Cleveland athletes of all time.
Who had the courage to say, bump that. And one of those people at the forefront was Kyrie Irving.
So he's revisiting the sports vaccine mandates. Aaron Rodgers deserves an apology. Novak Djokovic deserves an apology, and many others. Not to mention all the athletes across this country and across this world who were intimidated into, well, your kid can't participate in sports unless they're vaccinated. You have to be vaccinated. Everybody has to be vaccinated. You can't come to school if you're not vaccinated. And they forced it into their kids, and who knows what the long-term repercussions might be. We just don't. Kyrie said, no, I'm not doing it. And they made an example out of him. They caused him so much grief. They tried to ruin his name.
I bring his name up because I had my issues with him from a leadership standpoint. Never as a player, because he's sensational. But with him, in terms of leadership. And I didn't look at it as being courageous. I looked at it as being selfish. And I watched Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill yesterday. And the person I thought about most was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving stood out in my mind because of the heat that he was taking. And how folks were piling on because that was just the latest transgression in their eyes that he was committing and subjecting the public to. He refused the vaccine. New York City's mandate made him ineligible for home games. And he linked his stance to people losing jobs over vaccine mandates. Yep. In my opinion, particularly hindsight-wise.
Hero.
It didn't make him stubborn or selfish. It made him brave.
Yeah.
For his willingness to stand up and say, nah, I'm not doing that.
And it's easier to say, nah, I'm not doing that when you got $50 to $100 million in the bank. It makes it easier. But just like I said at the airports, you can opt out of that spinning machine thing. You say, I'll just do a mail opt-out. Mail opt-out. Just beware. Sometimes it'll take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Sometimes it's immediate. Okay, just put your face here. I want your biometrics. You go, no, I'm okay. I'll pass. You can pass. I'm not doing that. It's your right to say, I don't want to do that. It's voluntary. Don't let people think, don't let people convince you that optional things are mandatory. And to do that, you constantly got to be pushing. You got to be testing boundaries and limitations, right?
It's just a time for reflection and look at things differently. But there were others.
I give him credit for saying this now. Finally. Okay, here's a good. Here's a nice palate cleanser. You enjoying that sushi? Good. Here's a bite of ginger. It'll cleanse the palate. It'll hit refresh. Man, sushi sounds awesome right now. I had a salmon burger yesterday. That was good. What else did I have? I had a hash brown, salmon burger, some frozen vegetables, and some chicken fingers. Chicken breast fingers or something. Yeah, I'm going through the freezer. I've decided this will be like a no spend what month are we in? August, something like that. Just I've got one of those little half freezer things in the basement, and then a regular freezer in the kitchen. There's a lot of stuff in there that's maybe some of that's been there since the pandemic. So I'm going through that food and I'm going to eat that food. I don't need to go get new food. I want to go through that, cycle it out. That is a task, let me tell you. That is a task. Anyway, but why did I bring that up? Oh, because I talked about sushi and I said, that sounds good. And I ate fish yesterday. I think I had fish the day before too. I had a can of sardines. Best Buy 2026. They're actually good. They're like little fish fillets in olive oil. 2 ingredients, maybe salt, 3 ingredients. I like foods with like pronounceable ingredients, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. Yeah, I just grabbed some protein. It was good. Sardines just sound bad, but like they're really good. Rob says we can never forget any of what took place during the lockdowns. Just because some time has passed does not mean that those people who did this are different. Exactly. Joker Poker agrees. Facts, Rob. Facts. McCobston chimes in. You got to rotate your freezer and fridge. I assure you, my fridge has been rotated. I assure you. There's a Simpsons. Kenneth, do you remember this one? Oh God, what is the whole setup for this joke and the reasoning? It might have been when Homer was trying to get on disability by gaining weight, so he's consuming everything he can. He says, Homer, you've eaten everything. Was it Mo that said that? It might not have been Mo. Could have been Lisa. God, I haven't watched these episodes in so long. I got to refresh myself. You've eaten all the food. You've also eaten all of the other. Oh God, how do they phrase it? You've eaten all the food. You've also eaten the basic components of food. I want to get this one right, and I'm flubbing it. So let's ask Jamie. Jamie, let's look this up. Here we go. Okay. Building blocks of food, basic components of food, basic elements of food. There we go. And it was Lisa. King Size Homer, season 7, episode 7. Lisa says, "Bad news, Dad. We're all out of food. We're even out of the basic elements of food. You ate all the tarragon and you drank all the soy sauce." We're even out of the basic elements of food. You ate all the tarragon and you drank all the soy sauce. Yeah, I got a couple of spindrifts. I'm out of mustard because I had some frozen hot dogs and some frozen bratwurst. I'm down to the last of my spicy sweet pickle juice that I mix in with cans of chicken and mayonnaise when I mix it together with some fresh cracked pepper. I do not have a lot of food in the fridge. Tons in the freezer though. I got my work cut out for me in 2 freezers. Of course, the pantry, but so there's that. Oh, Macabston, you're in on a Simpsons watch party? I wonder how we could do that. That would get instantly flagged, right? Oh, I would love to rewatch the classic episodes. I developed a nickname. My brother gave me a nickname. Captain Rewind. I recorded every episode. This was pre-DVD. I was recording all of the Simpsons episodes I could and cutting out the commercials. And just loading VHS tapes back to back to back to back. So at any point, like, we don't remember what it was like back in the day. Couldn't just go online and pop something on and it'll play nonstop. Like, this was however long these video cassettes were. And I think I still have a couple of them, maybe front to back Simpsons episodes. I would love to do that. I want to get back to doing music reviews on my other YouTube channel, just so I don't lose monetization on this one. Speaking of monetization, please consider subscribing on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube for as little as $5 a month. If anyone wants to throw a one-time Rumble rant tip or super chat tip into the tip jar, you can do so. Rumble and YouTube, respectively. Venmo and Cash App is my name, at Brian Engelman, ENGELMAN, or PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. A Simpsons watch party. That sounds pretty great. What is this? Arnold saying Dina became a mechanic? What does that mean, became a mechanic on another channel? She became certified, or I don't know what the other channel was. All right, let's get back to the show. Douglas Sandstorm said this. This kind of caught my eye, and then I love the story. I love it. I love it. It takes just as much time to be cool as it does to be a dick. It really does. You know, I've met a lot of great people that were very kind and generous with very limited time, that, you know, people that didn't owe me anything, like Charlie Kirk or John McAfee. They don't know me from Adam, but they gave me some time. You know, it's a big deal, and we appreciate the kindness and just the humanity behind it. Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, not as cool. Also, they don't owe me anything, and I'm not super mad at them, but like, I've retold this story about being disappointed in both of those fellers multiple times, because that's how the situation played out. But check how it played out for this guy. Now, I will say this. As I was reading, I go, oh, this happened to me. He says, not proud of it, man. Oh, he goes, not proud of it, comma, man enough to say it. I had breakfast this morning in Greenwich Village, New York City, and a man sat next to me on his own. Somebody I idolized growing up watching the NFL. But out of respect, like a scared little girl, I didn't even ask for a picture. Not proud of it, man enough to say it. Have a great day in New York, at JJ Watt. #football guy. And when I read that, I went, oh, this reminds me. I know tarragon it's a wild herb. I mean, it's a unique herb. A little tarragon goes a long way. But this happened to me. I've told you this story in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Young's Dairy Farm. Awesome ice cream. Standing in this line that goes back and forth because the place gets really busy. Stand in line, blah, blah, blah. People move in line and there's people. And I look over to my right. Holy shit, it's Dave Chappelle. At the height of Chappelle Show. At the height of Chappelle Show. Rick James, bitch. And he was there with his wife. And I believe 2 kids, maybe 3 kids. I think there were 2 kids. Multiple kids, more than one, I believe. Like, oh my. And I'm the guy that'll talk to anyone, wants to talk to everyone. And I just saw him with his family and I just said, just let him have his family time. I don't know why. This was probably pre-selfie, 98, 99, 2000. Peak Chappelle Show time. Right around there somewhere. I just left him alone. So anyway, this guy left him alone. He's like, well, it was out of respect. But then he clarified, no, I was just a scared little girl. I couldn't do anything. I don't think I was scared by Dave Chappelle. Like I said, I've been talking to famous people my entire life. It doesn't faze me. Let's hang out. Like, I don't know. You're just a dude. I'm just a dude. Let's kick it, you know? He says he was also kind of like a scared little girl. So he tags him. Have a great day in New York at J.J. Watt. One of the best pass rushers in NFL history, defensive end. J.J. Watt sees this on X and goes, are you still in the area? Oh, where'd the text thread go? Oh, yeah, it skipped right over that one. Sorry. Douglas says, yes, sir. JJ, where about? Hiding from the rain with a beer at O'Hara's. I don't know what my shout ? Means. JJ says, order me a Guinness. Be there shortly. Douglas says, sounds good to me. Doug says, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest of all time, JJ Watt. What a legend, bro. Thank you so much for your time, man. I'll tell my kids about this story one day. And there he is drinking a pint of Guinness. You know, because it takes almost just as much time to be a dick as it does to be cool. You just had breakfast together. Go meet up for a pint. Like, have this moment. Like, it's so cool. It's so fun. It can be totally manufactured by a PR department. I don't really see the point. It's not like JJ's facing anything where he needs a public persona makeover. But how cool is that? Order me a Guinness. I'll be there shortly. That just makes me smile, you know? Wait, Patriot Warrior said you watched The Simpsons this morning at 4 a.m.? Did you really? He says, if it takes the same amount of time to be cool or to be a dick, sorry, folks, I'm a dick. And look, by the way, it's valid. I can't say Rogan was a dick. But you can say he wasn't cool to me without saying he was mean or a dick to me. So it was somewhere in that line. But he was also like, it was pre one of his stand-up performances in Los Angeles. We were hanging out outside. He had 100 things on his mind. He's kind of probably rehearsing his set, getting ready to, you know, and I'm just some guy like, hey, I do a podcast. I'd love to have you on. This was like before Rogan he's been big for a while, Fear Factor and such, but like his podcast was popular, but it wasn't what it has been for the past decade. It might have been, I really don't remember what year it was. 2014, 2015, 2016, maybe. I don't know. He just didn't know who I was or what I was about. And I gave him a card. I said, hey, I'd love to kind of give you my information. I'd love to book you. We interview interesting people. We'd love to have you on. And just he didn't seem cool or interested or it's fine. Nobody needs to be interested in me or what I'm doing. You don't. And he was in his own headspace. But yeah, Tim Pool it was like, hey, we're interviewing people. Do you have a couple seconds to, and the reply was something along the lines of, nah, I'm not gonna, or I can't, or I gotta. And maybe he did have something he urgently needed to do, or he was just, it was beneath him. Maybe it was beneath Rogan. I don't know. Anyway, when I see these interactions with famous people and regular folk, I just love it. It just makes my soul sing. It makes me happy. Yes, it was a happy ending, McCobston. Did you really need to use that moving hand to add an emoji to happy ending? I hate him. Clayton Bigsby. And that's comedy. Once again, pushing boundaries, pushing the limits of, oh my gosh, is he really saying that? And it's like, yeah, it's called a joke. You say things that let tension out because everyone, especially stuff people are thinking and maybe they don't want to admit. Dealing with uncomfortable truths or challenging situations. It's all good, That's just so awesome. Safe travels back home, brother. Great to meet you. I don't know. I just love this story so much. I hope you love it too. Everybody hit the thumbs up button, however you happen to be watching, and consider sharing the show with a friend. Hit that little arrow button. All right. Keep it rolling, 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 rolling. What? Here we go. It is so cool. I interviewed Fleckus once or twice. Fleckus, I like Fleckus. Fleckus is a big dude, by the way. I don't know. What is he, 6'6"? I was there with him and Anomaly at it must have been a Politicon at the convention center in Los Angeles. He's a big dude. I don't know that I interviewed him that day. I interviewed him at the Mike Cernovich documentary movie release. Yeah, that's where I interviewed Fleckus. Fleckus Talks. This is a wild video he found. Check this out. We're talking about flock cameras and being able to track things down. Well, there's a lot of ways to track things down. It might take a little bit of time, a little bit of resources, but a lot of stuff, the internet can come together. Check this out.
Guy cuts his ankle monitor off, and look what happened.
I'm done being locked up.
I'm done with this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. I'm done.
There we go for good this time. What's up, gangster? My name is Kobe, and I can find any location in the entire world.
Kobe can find any location in the entire world. Have you ever watched these videos?
And the exact location of your ankle monitor, I slowed down your video to look for important clues. First, I noticed a car with a California license plate driving by. Next, I noticed you were on a bridge. And last clue was this triangle structure in the background. And then
this is where autism shines. Super narrow focus on something, total fixation. His autism is showing. Let's go. Dedicating how much time to this? A lot. Enough.
Spent the next 6 hours of my day going through the 25,000 different bridges in the state of California.
I like trains.
Finally, I got my big break. I found the bridge. It was called the Shakespeare Bridge in Los Angeles, California. Grabbed
all right, LA, found it.
My laptop and drove 3 hours to the Shakespeare Bridge. Finally, I located it directly in the bushes. I jumped directly over the bridge and went straight to the target. I secured.
Could you imagine? Like, obviously you're a dope. Because if you're not wearing the ankle monitor, you're behind a jail cell. That's the point. I don't want to wear this anymore. I'm going to cut it off. Imagine doing something like that. Obviously not the brightest bulb in the bunch, sharpest tool in the shed. I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you rascally kids. Imagine some dude dedicates a full day of research to track this down and turn you in.
You're the ankle monitor in my case and went straight to the Los Angeles Police Department. Now,
like, what are the odds out of the millions of people making billions of videos, out of all the gin joints in all the world, you had to find this video and turn me in?
now I may not be able to find you, but Sergeant Bedewick and his 30,000 officers will. Good luck, gangster.
Good luck, gangsta.
Love to see it. This guy.
Full snitch mode, says Ross DeVos. Unreal.
This guy.
So we got flock cameras, and then we got people like that dude. He went and found it. Oh boy. Yes. So regarding the Anthony Fauci thing about taking aborted baby parts and sewing them onto rats just for kicks, Frankenstein style, to see if they'll grow, and babies, right? Yeah, they're just clumps of cells. I forget who it was. I don't think it was Charlie. It was some street change my mind kind of style, kind of thing. Change my mind debate. And it was anti-abortion people were like, ba, 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 and pro-abortion people were like, ba, 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 ba. And at some point, someone comes up and says, they're not humans. They're not babies. They're just clumps of cells. It's just a clump of cells. And he goes, you're a clump of cells. And the person goes, God, I wish I knew where that video was. Let's ask Jamie. Link to video where anti-abortion activist calls somebody, you're a clump of cells, and they are astonished. Let's see if Grok can find a link to this video. It's very quick and it's very funny. By the way, glancing at one of my monitors, this is a new shirt. It sort of fits okay because I've been fasting and doing some weights. But all clothing is going to fit better on me if I fit better in my body. Yeah, I'm not a doctor and I don't recommend fasting to anybody. Also, please consider fasting. Consult your medical professional. In my, just one meal a day, the OMAD, or variations of it, or, one day a liquid diet, and just let your body process what it already has accumulated. Whew, it's so helpful for me personally. Yeah, it's a new shirt. I just glance. I go, oh, okay, looks all right. Call me Ken Clumpet. Okay, let's see if Grok. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it was Charlie Kirk. Okay. You know what? I stand corrected. It was Charles in charge here. My favorite, I just love it because responding by repeating what the other person said is just top tier. I love doing that every chance I get. It's so funny to me. All right, here, let's play it. What tab opened? This one.
You want to have as much sex as possible, but then I say if I get pregnant, I can kill the baby. That's really dark.
It's not killing the baby.
What? Killing what?
It's a clump of cells.
You're a clump of cells. I'm a clump of cells. We're all clumps of cells.
Did you see her reaction? Heavens to Murgatroyd. Did I just get called a clump of cells? It's one of the best videos ever. I'm still watching over.
You want to have as much sex as possible, but then I say if I get pregnant, I can kill the baby. That's really dark.
It's not killing the baby.
What? Killing
It's
what?
a clump of cells.
You're a clump of cells. I'm a clump of cells.
Animals are
We're
clumps
all
of
clumps of
cells.
cells. You want to have as much sex as possible, but then I say if I get pregnant, I can kill the baby. That's really dark.
It's not killing the baby.
What? Killing
It's
what?
a clump of cells.
You're a clump of cells. I'm a clump of cells.
Animals are
We're
clumps
all
of
clumps of cells.
Oh, I gotta share this. Just here, we'll put this on X. I guess let me switch back to here. Speaking of clumps of cells, the reason why I brought that up is because of this video here. At one time, each of us were a clump of cells, but we were given the chance to develop and be born. Communists don't think that far. And it reminds me of the Bill Burr skit about abortion. He goes, I've always, I've been for woman's choice and all that, but I don't want to butcher it. All right, let's see if Grok can give me that, do me that solid. Oh, yeah, here on X, we're going to say, brought up this hilarious classic Charlie Kirk interaction during our live TNAM Daily Show today. Streaming live on X, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, etc. Okay, there, I've shared that. Bill Burr said, pro-choice. It's always made sense to me because, I don't like people telling me what to do. And I was just like, it's your body. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with your body? So that always made sense, all right? However, I still think you're killing a baby. See, that's where it gets weird. Like, I sit on the fence, the whole thing makes sense to me. Whether anybody's saying, don't tell me what to do, it's my body, my choice. That's right, man, she's right. Leave her the hell alone, or you're killing a baby. Well, I mean, there is that, If we're going to be honest, that's the whole purpose of the procedure. You're not going in there because you got an earache. You're going in there because you're like, I got a baby in me. Get it the F out of me, right? You walk in with the baby, you come out without one. What happened to the baby, right? Something fucking happened. So pro-choice people are like, well, it's not a life yet. It's not a baby yet. I don't know what they say. Before you do it, the first Thursday or the last Tuesday, and you spin around one time, they dance between the rain trucks. It's not a baby yet. That's what they say, which may or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'll tell you what, my gut tells me that doesn't make sense. It's not a baby yet. That would be like if I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven. And then 5 minutes later, you came by and you grabbed the pan and threw it across the floor. And I went, what the fuck? You just ruined my birthday cake. And you're like, well, that wasn't a cake yet. It's like, well, it would have been if you didn't do what you just did. There would have been a cake in 50 minutes. Something happened to that cake, you cake murdering son of a bitch. And scene. It's a great bit. It's a great bit. It might be the best abortion bit I've ever heard. Well, that wasn't a cake. Well, it was gonna be until you did what you did. And you go, oh, ooh, that's a great analogy. And oftentimes it takes comics. Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. How many comics have we listed on this show already? I'm an uber fan of comedy. Just like Joker Poker. Joker Poker, did I perform on stage with you? I mean, not during your set, but like the same night at the same venue? Maybe. I think we might have. I love comedy, but sometimes it takes a comic brain to kind of rewire, recalibrate, and reframe a story. All of that to say, here's the sweet moment that an unborn baby girl smiles to the sound of the dad's voice. Meet your clump of cells. Is that big enough on the screen? Can you all see that? Looks like a cake. Is it cake or is it fake? Welcome to my new program. Good morning, Trash Pandas. Welcome to today's program. Is it cake or is it fake? On today's show, you'll see this.
Morning. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Hello. You hungry?
Oh, smile.
Oh
my
God.
God.
Smile.
Did you videotape
Yeah.
that? Oh my gosh, she's so smart.
Smile. A little smile.
Oh, it's a squish, but it's cute. And I have it on Andrew's voice.
Look at that. Yeah, not a clump of cells button. Anyway, that's pretty adorable and sweet, is it not? Not a clump of cells. That's a birthday cake.
I did a lot.
Everything.
Let's see what Tucker's up to. Haven't heard much from Tucker lately. This is about the surveillance state, apropos for today.
Everything you do, say, write, and post is being monitored in January 2020.
Fantastic.
25. The young teacher's assistant lost a lesson plan when a disruptive student closed her computer.
She vented with a joke to friends. Should I shoot him? She wasn't armed and she posed no immediate threat. She said this in a private story online on Snapchat to 3 people. And none of those people reported her to authorities. Only on Snapchat earlier today. Oh, here we go.
That is you, correct?
Oh, yes. This was a joke, though.
But as it turns out, the 3 people with access to the private story weren't alone.
They're joined by Snapchat's artificial intelligence system. AI scanned her message, flagged it, sent it immediately to the FBI.
And so you are going to go with us. You're going to have to stay the night in jail.
Arrested and thrown in jail for text crime.
The story is horrifying, but it illustrates a new and dark reality. The world you grew up in is gone.
New TCN docuseries, The World is Watching You. I'm a comedian. I make jokes. It is a joke to take an annoyance and go, should I shoot him? I mean, we are dangerously close to pre-crime, thought crime. 1984, Minority Report. I mean, we are right there. McCobston, can't wait for the YouTube comments to be surveilled to this level. Not. McCobston, they are. How many shows do we do where people are actively telling me I'm posting stuff and it's not showing up? They're not letting it. It's a little better on Rumble. Speaking of Rumble, glancing over here. Oh, Patriot Warrior says Simpsons come on every day, 4 to 5 a.m. Just happened to catch it this morning. What episode was it? I gotta watch the Simpsons episodes again. It's been a long time. Thank God, there's got to be probably 15, 20 years of show. I haven't watched in so long. And Patriot Warrior says, fasting works great. I lost 30 pounds in a month and changing my diet. Yeah. I mean, we can get by on so much less than we consume each day. We really can. Yeah, I'm feeling way better. I'm feeling way better. And I know I have a long ways to go too, but I know how easy it is to get through a day without eating. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm starving. Let me just go to bed early. Then you wake up, you weigh yourself in, you go, oh, I'm glad I did that. If you go off the rails for a couple days and you go, ugh, bleh, and then you weigh yourself, you're like, oh no. But yeah, comments are surveilled. I'm going to stand up for jokes. You can't joke about stuff like that. Well, I mean, was there a motive? Was there an opportunity? Was there an actual plan for that? Or was that the absurdity of saying, can you believe he turned in his homework late? Should I shoot him? You go, no, that's out of context. The context is, here, let me exaggerate this minuscule thing into something chaotic and dramatic. That's why you don't do that. That's why you don't arrest people for saying things like, you got to put it in context. But yeah, anyway, world is watching you indeed.
Everything you do.
Danny Alexander tells us, we far-right creators, in air quotes, far right. We've been telling you for months that what happened in Spain yesterday was coming. 50,000 invaders in one single day. Who's coordinating this? In one of my threads, of course, the answer was the Jews. Because to this person, everything geopolitically that's not ideal, it's because of the Jews, say this person. Oh, boy. Okay. And here I thought George Soros, I thought the Tides Foundation, I thought all the non-governmental organizations and the nonprofits, all sorts of varied interests working together, the Catholic Church. I mean, I thought there were a million reasons why this is so bad, so well-funded and coordinated to displace native populations. Yeah, it's a great replacement. Remember when you weren't allowed to say that? When Biden was up there saying, and that's not a bad thing. Look, and by 2025, Americans of European descent will not be the majority in this country. And that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. If you think that's a good thing, then you're saying that our thing is bad. That's gross. We're allowed to have our thing. And you can't put public policy positions out there promoting the replacement of certain demographics of people, Christians, whites, Europeans. You can't put reducing the number of those people as being a good thing if you think that those types of people are good. You don't just dump in. Yeah, Corn Pop was a bad dude. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Exactly. Dina says the Jews are not invading our border. Well, there are Jewish family services and Catholic charities that work to move populations among hundreds of groups. It's not just the Catholics. It's not just the Jews. It's lots of different groups that are behind it. Danny says, we far-right creators have been telling you for months what was going to happen in Spain. We're going to tell you it was coming. It was on its way. 50,000 invaders in one single day. The rest of Europe will follow suit. Wake up. Stop fighting your fellow countrymen who are only trying to protect you. They are not the enemy. Your fellow countrymen. They got you arguing. And that's how they win. That's how they change things. They divide us. They break us apart. Elon was like, we need a third. I think that it's time in America. We need a third party. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then you go, whoa, buddy. Without Ross Perot, we have no Bill Clinton. And if Clinton wouldn't have happened, I mean, the whole trajectory of the next 30 years could have been different. But Ross Perot came in and took votes away from Bush. And by the way, you could have plenty of gripes about Bush. I'm just saying. You break the MAGA movement into pieces. Don't be surprised if communism steals elections. And John Thune is a deep state communist traitor. I'm done. I've been done with him for so long. You whip the votes. You gather the votes. If Murkowski in Alaska is concerned that they might be disenfranchised, you say 100% of the funding to go in a campaign. We will hire Alaskans. We will purchase snowmobiles. We will go to every home of every registered voter and sign them up for free. The funding of this project within this bill will cover that. We will hire people. We will get to everyone. Well, there's some people that might not be able to vote. It'll disenfranchise them. Offer her that and watch her still oppose it, because I bet you she's one of the traitors. Because that's sure as hell what it feels like is going on with John Thune. Get it done. Dina says NGOs are responsible for the invasion of Spain and the weak leftist leader in Spain. No, he's a strong leftist leader. Look how much he's able to destroy so quickly. Look at Mamdani. They're very effective. They're not weak. They know exactly. And that's the thing. We always had to play a game with Obama. Is the dude simple? Is he learning disabled? Like, is he cognitively impaired? Oh, euphemisms for saying retarded. Is there something? I don't think that Barack Obama. I don't think he's all there, man. It's like everything he's doing is stupid. It's like the opposite of what a normal person would do. Or is he evil? So now let's play the game. Is he stupid or evil? Oop. See the problem here? Looks like your doll was set to evil. Just switch that back and should be good to go. So yeah. Welcome to the world, everybody. 2026. It's late July. Well, it was Gatlinburg in late July, and I just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. Ooh, a brew sounds good. How does it go then? There at a table, dealing stud, covered in something mud. Was the rotten son of a bitch that named me Sue. Now, I don't blame him because he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and he named me Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean, and my fists got tough and my wits got keen. Roam from town to hide my shame. And kill that man that gave me that awful name. Ah, it's a good song. I performed that on stage at an open mic night in Bowling Green, Ohio, the week that he died, as a tribute to Mr. Johnny Cash. Good song. All right, everybody. It's been quite a day. Thank you all for being here. We're going to wrap it for now. If anyone wants to throw a tip into the tip jar, Rumble Rant tip, Super Chat tip, Venmo and Cash App is my name. Let me spell it. BRIANENGELMAN. Venmo, Cash App. And if you want to do something on PayPal, the email address is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. INSTALLMENT. Fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. And please remember, consider signing up on Patreon for as little as $5 a month or more if you can. You can sign up to be like a regular contributor. So, some days we get a bunch in the tip jar and other days we don't, and you got to figure out the balance. But at least the monthly contributions, we start to know what to expect on top of the other stuff that we can't control as much. So thank you all for being here. Another great show, Brian. Keep it up, says Ortho. Thank you, Marion. It's past 2:22. Oh, yeah. Kenneth usually reminds us of those moments. Joker Poker says, thanks. Whoop, where'd it go? Thanks for having us, Brian. Thanks for being here. Tango reminds us every transaction made by a debit card or any cash or any card is visible to them. So pay cash when buying ammo. Yeah, I don't, yeah. We even accept Western Union. Arn says he's going to shoot a Western Union over. I said, well, all right, partner. I'll take a look out for that. I'll be on the lookout for that. Got a Western Union coming. Got a P.O. box. Yeah, I mean, we'll take donations however you can. I guess I still need to set up the Rumble wallet. Doggone it. Jamie, remind me to set up that Rumble wallet. I thought I set it up, but there's extra steps, and I just stopped before I finished it. So anyway, I'll probably try it again in the meantime. So let's put a pin in this show for now. And as Ortho likes to remind us, yeah, we got to get some merch that says never leave your cave without your club. The New American Media, TNAM, never leave your cave without your club. That'd be cool on a holster. Be a good t-shirt, good hat. That'd be cool. Maybe a TNAM logo on front and never leave your cave without the club, without your club on the side or on the back. That'd be neat. Snap back, one size fits all. Yeah, it could be good. Yes, and remember, never leave your cave without your club. Stay vigilant out there, everybody. So for now, yeah, dang, Jamie, do your job, man. Jeez, I keep clicking and all the comments keep rolling. So signing out on behalf of Mary and Dina, Kenneth, Ortho, Tango, Joker, Patriot, Mark, Rob, McCobston, Eddie, Sam, House, Sam, superhero for today with that $100 tip. Thank you so much. I'll be mailing you out a gift package. I'm gonna get you a mug. I'm gonna get you coasters. I'm gonna get you a pin. Bro, you spent $100. I'll probably get you a. This is what? This is, I said 50, 75, 50, 90. So this would be 115 altogether. This would be 115 altogether. Sam, for you, this is the package you're getting. You are going to get the cup, the double set of coasters, and the pin. Sam, you're getting one of each, buddy. And I was signing out on behalf of you and anybody whose name, Arn. Who else? I feel like I don't want Tango. I'm scrolling, just trying to see if I. Dina. Oh my gosh! Wait a second. I didn't see this. Elbow off the top rope. Kenneth with a $10 super chat that I was previously unaware of. Woohoo! Dope. I almost missed that. Joker. God, I missed a lot of the show. I had so much to get to. Joker Poker says if you want to do a watch party, you can put the video on mirror image and put the playback speed at 1.5. YouTube won't flag it. Yeah, because I do song reactions on. I don't mix them into the New American Media because I don't want to lose monetization. But they all get flagged, obviously. But yeah, for monetization. What do you got? Pickle juice is as good as Gatorade, someone said. God, I got a whole bunch of people. Comments I wasn't getting to. McCobston says famous people scare me. LOL. Well, I plan on being famous one day, so I figure they're just like I used to be. Dina says Keith Colvin needs to come on TNAM. Maybe Leanne or Liberty can mention that. Come on TNAM as a guest or as a viewer. I don't know. That feller. Geez, I hope I didn't miss anybody else I needed to thank. I'm glad. See, I'm so glad I went back to trying to say thank you to everybody. Oh my gosh, it doesn't go back all the way. The comments have been so hot and heavy in here. I can't scroll back to the beginning. So I will just say thank you to everybody. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.